kidding. I'm just kidding. Hi, good morning, everybody. And welcome to Unity of Wimberley's Sunday service. Today is April 10th, 2022. And we're excited today because we've got two super special things going on. We've got a special guest speaker, Stanley Tartakov. And our kids are back. So we'll have them coming in at the end of the service like we used to, so that's really exciting. And Evie's going to talk to us about Easter Sunday and what they're going to be doing with the Easter eggs and all that cool stuff. So it's a really special day. And to those of you watching online, we love you, we bless you, and we're glad you're here. And Colleen Reeves and Bobby, I see you. Okay, so here's a little bit about Stanley, in case you haven't had the pleasure of meeting him. Sorry, Jason. He's a native Texan. He's lived in the Hill Country for more than 20 years. And growing up, he studied Judaism and Hebrew for 14 years at his family's synagogue. He has also lived on kibbutz for 3 years in the mid-'70s, and I want to hear about that. His favorite holiday is Passover, and we look forward to hearing his unique take on this ancient ritual and hear some Passover prayer songs. Stanley and his wife, Jan Gavain, have been a vital part of our Unity of Wimberley community since 2012. Jan was a former board president, and Stanley was our first gentleman, which is exciting. So my two favorite things about Stanley, first of all, to me, he's the best storyteller. And the second thing is, he is a walking encyclopedia of rock and roll history. So ask him anything. See if you can stump them. And now let's join Julie Reagans, Curtis Pringle, Jeff Stockey, and Bruce Wayne and sing our welcome song.
We come together. Well, I hope I just speak into this, because usually I'm all over the place. It's great to see you all. I haven't been up here in a long time, and I've always loved looking at the faces because I see your hearts, and I love that, and we do come together in love. So join me in the statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And our vision and mission statement. Let us unite our spirits as we hold this vision for our church. We are an open-hearted spiritual community, powerfully transforming our lot by honoring the sacred in all. And we practice this mission by, inspired by our shared spiritual awakening, we offer practical teachings that empower healthy, abundant, and meaningful living. And today's daily word is about Palm Sunday. We got everything going on today. And the affirmation is, I celebrate and welcome the Christ. Palm Sunday begins Holy Week and commemorates Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem. Although he arrived humbly, seated upon a donkey colt, the excitement of the gathered crowd amplified the celebration as they waved palms and shouted. Spiritually, the crowds represent humanity joyously responding to the presence of the Christ among them. Jerusalem symbolizes a place of perfect peace. Today, I celebrate with you and claim this peace as my own, as the awareness of the Christ dawns in me. With each prayer on my lips and every thought in my mind, I celebrate and welcome the Christ of my being anew. And from John 12:13, so they took branches of palm trees and went out to meet him, shouting, Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord, the King of Israel. And now with a gathering prayer, Ann Hollows.
Hi, everybody. Ooh, I have to make a Jan adjustment. Come down, come down to Ann height. Well, it's your lucky morning. I've got a twofer for you today. 2 prayers. One, thankfully, is very short. And I just wanted to share it with you because it's something that my inner voice has been saying to me constantly over the past few weeks, really. We know this is a time of renewal and freshness and everything just, coming back to life. And it almost doesn't matter what I'm doing. This little voice keeps going, be odd. Just be A-W-E-D, for those of you who are wondering. Be odd. I think I might resent that. But seriously, every time you look around you and you look at the bluebonnet fields and the pink primroses coming up and you're watching your perennials come back and people just feeling alive, be odd. Forget what's on the list, just be odd. And then the second one is one of my all-time favorite prayers, and I hope you love it too. It's called St. Teresa's Prayer. May today there be peace within you. May you trust God that you are exactly where you're meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born in faith. May you use those gifts that you've received and pass on the love that has been given to you. May you be content knowing that you are a child of God. Let this presence settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing, dance, praise, and love. It's there for each and every one of us. Amen.
Praises rising, eyes are turning. 'Cause when we see you, we find strength to face the day. And in your presence, all our fears are washed away, washed away.
One more time. Thank you so much. Bruce Wayne beating out that rhythm. My buddy Jeff Stockey on bass, Curtis Brangle on the keyboards, and Julie Reagan's guitar and vocals. Thank you so much. We're so lucky to have a band like you playing every Sunday. All right. Good morning, friends. The last time I spoke in front of an audience like this, I think it was about 60 years ago at my bar mitzvah. And I'm glad to say that my voice has finally dropped. So anyway, it's really an honor to be speaking with you today. My talk is called My Three Seders, and my intention is to describe 3 periods of my life and how the Seders I participated in made an impact on how I related to myself, to my family, and to the holiday of Passover. While I talk about my personal experiences with this ceremony, I also want to give you some background information about Passover and the Seder, the customs, the traditional foods, and some of the songs that are sung during the course of the Seder meal. I hope you'll indulge my singing voice. Before I begin, I want to tell you about two words that I'll be using frequently. Passover, or Pesach, is one of the three major festivals of Judaism. Originally, the festivals were organized around the harvest season, during which farmers would bring a tithe of their crops and livestock to the temple in Jerusalem for sacrifices. Passover marked the time of the spring harvest. The Passover itself is a 7 or 8 day holiday dedicated to the liberation of the Jewish people who were enslaved in Egypt some 2,300 years ago. Passover refers to the last of the 10 plagues described in the second book of the Old Testament, the book of Exodus, in which the angel of death passed over the homes of the Hebrew slaves, saving them from losing their firstborn children. The Passover holiday is celebrated by a ritual meal served at home called the Seder. The word Seder means order, and it refers to the order of activities surrounding the meal that is served on the first and sometimes second night of Passover. Now that we've taken care of this little housekeeping, I think I can begin. My Seder number one, the early years. My first memories of Passover and the Seder occurred in the mid-50s when I was 6 years old. These Seders were held at my grandparents' house. And for any of you who happen to have grown up in Houston, their house, a 1920s built house, was located in the Montrose on Westheimer, exactly across the street from the iconic Felix's Mexican restaurant, if you remember. My grandparents, immigrants from the Ukraine, had raised my dad and his 4 siblings in this house, and now following World War II, their children had married and had started raising their own baby boomer families. As best I can remember, Grandpa conducted a mostly by-the-book Seder, which meant we had to go through a lot of reading until we could finally get to eat. Beginning with the lighting of the candles and the kiddush, or blessing of the first of 4 cups of wine, Grandpa followed the order of service. Needless to say, it was a long, long slog from blessing to blessing, trying to follow along in the Haggadah. The Haggadah is the book that provides the script for the Seder meal. And it was compiled over centuries, dating back to the years 130 AD. The Haggadah outlines the order of the Seder, providing a step-by-step instruction for the meal. But also, the Haggadah retells the story of the Jews' liberation from nearly 200 years of bondage in Egypt. Again, it could be a very long time for a child to wait for dinner. One method of keeping the children alert was the afikomen, which translates from a Greek word meaning dessert. The leader of the Seder would take a piece of matzah, the cracker-like, unleavened, yeastless flat bread, and would then hide it somewhere in the house. It was then the children's job to go find that afikomen, to find that piece of matzah. Once found, the child would present it to the leader, who would then give the child a reward for its return. In those days, the reward was a shiny new quarter, which was then deemed to be a considerable amount of money for a child. It was such fun to run through the house with my cousins, looking under pillows, searching in drawers, behind curtains, and finally someone would find the matzah and take it to Grandpa and would receive his reward of a quarter. Grandpa was a pretty generous guy, however, so everybody would get a consolation prize, and each kid, whether they found it or not, had a shiny quarter in their pocket. What I also remember about those Seders was the chance I had to actually participate in the service itself. Tradition has it that the youngest at the table gets to ask what are called the 4 questions, or the manishtana, at the beginning of the service. The 4 questions translate as follows. Why is this night different from all other nights? 1. On all other nights, we eat both leavened bread and matzah. On this night, we only eat matzah. On all other nights, we eat many vegetables. On this night, we eat bitter vegetables. On all other nights, we do not dip vegetables, but on this night, we dip twice. 4. On all other nights, some eat and drink sitting while others recline. On this night, we all recline. Since I had just started Hebrew school, I was tapped for the honor of reciting the 4 questions, and it went something like this. Ma nishtana halayla hazeh mikol halaylot, shebachol halaylot anu ochlin chametz umatzah, halayla hazeh kulo matzah. שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים שאר ירקות, הלילה הזה מרור. שבכל הלילות איננו מפילים אפילו פעם אחת, הלילה הזה 2 פעמים. שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים בין יושבים ובין מסובין, הלילה הזה כולנו מסובין. These early experiences with my family marked the beginning of almost 70 years of connection to the observance of the Passover Seder. My Seder number 2. The Seder of my adolescence, the 60s. Let's fast forward a decade or so. I was a teenager now in high school and quite the angry young man. I was no longer a believer in any of this stuff and could be quite oppositional to anything that smacked of religion. Yet, I still found something comforting about being surrounded by my family around the Seder table. It was now hosted by my Uncle Joe and Aunt Cece. I like to think of this time as the golden age of my family's Seders. At this time, my parents and uncles and aunts were in their 40s to 50s, in their prime and fully in charge. My cousins and I ranged in age from 4 to 16. To me, all of the adults seemed so certain about everything, and Uncle Joe was clearly in command, conducting a very well-paced Seder. They set a beautiful table. The ladies were in charge of food preparation, and everyone had a special dish. Needless to say, no one left the Seder hungry. At this point, I'd like to take the opportunity to describe the different traditional foods that were served at the meal, and some slides will appear to illustrate. Number 1, the Seder plate. At the center of the table is the Seder plate. On the plate are a number of food items, all symbolic of the coming season of spring and or the Exodus story. I put these in no particular order. 1, the bitter herbs. Horseradish is commonly used. It symbolizes the bitter lives the slaves led in Egypt. 2, a green vegetable, usually parsley, but lettuce, celery, or any other vegetable can do. It symbolizes the coming of spring. 3, the roasted egg. This symbolizes spring. 4, salt water. Symbolic of the tears shed during slavery, the salt water is used to dip the green vegetables. 5, roasted bone represents the Passover sacrifices made in the temple in Jerusalem. 6, haroset. This is a sweet relish made of chopped apples, nuts, cinnamon, and sweet red wine. The brown color of the mixture is reminiscent of mortar used in masonry, and therefore symbolizes the mortar used by the slaves to build the Pharaoh's pyramids. And 7, matzah. Matzah is the unleavened or yeastless bread. It symbolizes the experience of the freed Israelite slaves as they left Egypt. Because they had to leave in a hurry, there was no time to let the bread rise. 3 pieces of matzah covered with a napkin usually sit on a plate next to the Seder plate. Wine. 4 cups of wine are blessed and drunk during the course of the Seder meal. A 5th cup is filled, but not to be drunk. This is the cup of Elijah. According to the story, Elijah visits each Jewish household during the Seder to herald the coming of the Messiah. And then the following 2 dishes are traditionally served at Seders conducted by descendants of Eastern European Jews. The matzah ball. The matzah ball, or in Yiddish, knedel, is an Eastern European dish made of matzah meal, eggs, water, and a fat, usually chicken schmaltz, to hold the balls all together. Rolled into the shape, they are placed in a simmering pot for about 30 minutes. Matzah balls, which can be prepared either light or dense, are usually eaten in a bowl of chicken soup. And last, the gefilte fish. Gefilte fish means a stuffed fish. It's another East European dish, usually formed into egg shapes. The mixture of deboned chopped fish, matzah meal, carrots, onions, spices, and salt are poached in a fish stock. The gefilte fish is usually served with a cooked carrot slice on top and a dollop of horseradish on the side. One of the iconic songs sung during the Seder is the Dayenu. The word Dayenu translates as "it would have been enough for us." It recounts all of God's gifts given to the Jews escaping Egypt, stating that if God had only done one of the things, it would have been enough. But instead, God gifted us with all of them, and for that we should be even more grateful. Traditionally, Dayenu is a call and response reading. I'm going to ask for a little audience participation right now. And so if you would repeat after me the word Dayenu. Dayenu. Let's try it one more time. Dayenu. Dayenu. And now when I point to you, please say out loud the word Dayenu. You got it. Okay. So here's what is traditionally read at the time of the Seder. If he had split the sea for us and had not taken us through it on dry land, Dayenu. If he had taken us through the sea on dry land and had not drowned our oppressors in it, Dayenu. If he had not drowned our oppressors in it and had not supplied our needs in the desert for 40 years, Dayenu. If he had supplied our needs in the desert for 40 years and had not fed us the manna, Dayenu. If he had fed us the manna and had not given us the Shabbat, Dayenu. If he had given us the Shabbat and had not brought us before Mount Sinai, Dayenu. If he had brought us before Mount Sinai and had not given us the Torah, Dayenu. If he had given us the Torah and had not brought us into the land of Israel, Dayenu. If he had brought us into the land of Israel and not built for us the holy temple, Dayenu. And now I'm going to sing just one verse of Dayenu in Hebrew. Ilu hotzianu mi Mitzrayim, hotzianu Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Thank you. My Seder number 3, the present day Seder. So now it's 50 years later, give or take. Like the Israelites who left Egypt for the Promised Land, I too spent decades wandering through my own personal wilderness. But now I have a much more accepting relationship with Passover, the festival of freedom. We'll be going to Houston in a few days for my family's Seder. In the course of the last 50 years, all of my grandparents, my parents and uncles and aunts have all passed. I'm happy to say that my cousin Wendy has taken it on herself to host our family Seder. We children have grown up, and now there's also a new generation at our table. And believe it or not, grandchildren show up. Tradition has been maintained in the Seder service and the food we all enjoy. I find myself sitting at the table surrounded by my family, contemplating the passage of time and how it all just gets better and better. The last song of the Seder is called Chad Gad Yah, which means one kid or one baby goat. It is structured much like the poem, This is the House That Jack Built. Chad Gad Yah serves as a metaphor for the history of persecution of the Jewish people. The last verse recaps all of the verses and translates as this. Then came the Holy One, blessed be he, who slew the angel of death, who killed the butcher, who slaughtered the ox, who drank the water, that quenched the fire, that burnt the stick, that beat the dog, that bit the cat, that ate the goat, that father bought for 2 zuzim. Chad Gadya. And just by the way, zuzim are an ancient coinage, and I looked it up on the internet the other day. A zuz today, in today's dollar, would be worth about $5. So take that to your next trivial pursuit. And now the verses it is sung during the Seder. The Zabina ba bitre zuzei chad gadya, v'ata kodesh baruch hu, v'shachat lemalach hamovet, the shachat leshochet, the shachat letorah, the shata lemaya, the chipa lenura, the saref lechutra, the hika lechalba, the nashach leshunra, the Yachla legadya, the Zabina ba bitrezu zechad gadya, chad gadya. Thank you. So in the end, why is Passover and the Seder important to observe? I think that it's not just the opportunity it gives us to reconnect with our families, but the emphasis the holiday places on the evils of slavery and the promotion of the idea of freedom. We ask ourselves, are we truly free, or are we owned by our possessions? Do we look upon the world as it's us or it's them? Can we remain oblivious to the plight of the hungry and the homeless and still call ourselves free? Like the song says, none of us are free if one of us is in chains. I think the comedian Sarah Silverman said it best. Don't be the Pharaoh in somebody else's liberation story. This certainly calls us to strive for a world that is free, and that to me is the true meaning of Passover. So I want to thank everyone here and online for your attention to my rambling story about my experience of the holiday of Passover. It's been an honor to be here today. And I especially want to thank my family, my sister, cousins, children and grandchildren, and especially my wife, Jan, for being here with me today. I finally learned how to accept and truly enjoy the experience of Passover and the Seder, and I am so grateful to have all of my family along for my journey, and grateful to have all of you here today to listen to what I had to say. Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you.
Good job.
I told you that was good, right? Okay. Now, with grateful hearts, let us practice our prosperity consciousness as we circulate our good. Unity of Wimberley is a tithing church that shares the gifts we receive as an affirmation of our oneness with the divine flow. We thank you for the gifts you have sent as we affirm the gifts you are sending now. We know Spirit is working through us to supply all that is needed for our community and beyond. Let's take a moment to bring this truth into our hearts as we prepare for our offerings and as our ushers come forward. As a reminder, here are some ways you can share the gifts with Unity of Wimberley. You can text give to 361-356-3184. I need my glasses on. You can click donate on the button on the website. You can mail us a check at 455 White Wings Road, Wimberley, Texas, 78676. You can tap give on our church app. And on Venmo, you can find us on Unity of Wimberley. And now, let us affirm this affirmation of abundance together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Well, if I could, I surely would stand on the rock where Moses stood. Pharaoh's army got surrounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Mary wore 3 links of chain, and every link was Jesus' name. Pharaoh's army got surrounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't mourn. Pharaoh's army got surrounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. One of these nights, about 12 o'clock, this whole world is gonna rock. Pharaoh's army got surrounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Moses stood on the Red Sea shore and smote the water with a 2x4. Pharaoh's army got surrounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't mourn. Pharaoh's army got surrounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mr. Satan, he got real mad. He missed that soul that he thought he had. Pharaoh's army got surrounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Brothers and sisters, now don't you cry. There'll be good times by and by. Pharaoh's army got surrounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Well, oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't mourn. Pharaoh's army got surrounded. Oh, Mary, don't you weep.
Okay, so let's bless these blessings and offerings together. We bless these gifts and the givers with our love and gratitude. Thank you. Okay, we're at the end of our service, and we want to tell you about a few things that we got going on. Wednesday, this is our final Lenten check-in for prayers of Ukraine, and Reverend Jill's going to be doing that. Next Sunday is Easter Sunday, and join us for Reverend Jill's talk, Resurrection Every Day. And Evie's going to tell us more about Easter Sunday for the kids when she brings the kids up. And is there anybody from the men's group that wants to talk about the picnic? Oh, awesome. Hi, Scott.
All right.
Come on. It's going to be fun.
That's right. Y'all ready for some fun in the sun on our sacred hill? So this is kind of an outgrowth of the pizza party that Finn put together with the board, and this is the men's group. We kind of came up with the idea, and it has just grown and grown and grown. So I don't think it's something you're going to want to pass over. So that's right. You'll remember it this way, right? All right, so here's the stats. It's on Saturday, April 23rd, which is the day after Earth Day. It's going to be from noon to 4. The intent is to start it with a picnic lunch in Serenity Garden or wherever else you might want to go on the property. We have 43 acres here, so there's a lot of room. And be sure to bring your own picnic lunch. We are not providing that. We are providing beverages. We're providing water. I'm going to make some sun tea. We're going to have all kinds of liquids, beverages, so bring your own cup. It is Earth Day after all. We will have bottles of water too. So we have a lot of games planned, and there could be even more than what I'm going to mention here. We've got washers. I mean, Tommy's had a washer pit in Serenity Gardens for a long time. There's going to be a couple of, I think, cornhole set up. We're going to have bocce ball, numerous bocce balls. The tennis court is going to turn into a pickleball court. That's John and Mimi are going to kind of lead that up from like 1 to 3. And then, organized games are going to be roughly between 1 and 3. Traditionally, it's called tug of war. Finn, I'm going to go ahead and change that to the tug of peace. I think it's going to be just as competitive. Sack race for those who care to join that. And water balloons. How much fun can you have with water balloons? We thought about doing eggs, but we went with water balloons. Also going to do I'm going to lead a trail hike through the full loop down in the ravine, the long hike around. That's going to start at 1 o'clock at the Serenity Gate. All of this is going to be on a program. We're putting together a program. We're going to post it on the Facebook, Wimberley Resource Facebook page, possibly even Instagram. Yep, and so it's on your phone. Again, you can be paperless. It is Earth Day. We will have programs to hand out as well that day. Roger's going to be leading some labyrinth walks between 1 and 2, and then finally, we're going to do a drum circle. Buffalo Thunder is going to lead us in a drum circle at the Peace Pole at 2 o'clock. And then a couple more things, just parking. You know, we're going to focus parking on that first lot when you first come in on the left, and really just try to keep the grounds as car-free as possible. Obviously, those with mobility concerns are welcome to come up. And the overflow is going to be down by the pool. And I looked up the temperature, which today it's forecast to be around a high of 84. So I think it's going to be awesome. So thanks.
Scott, thank you. It's going to be super fun. Okay, so if you would like information on how to get involved, please reach out to Aida. Aida, raise your hand. If you would like to do something for the care team, Allison Hannah is working on that now, and she's at care@unityofwimberley.com. I wanted to say a thank you to the people that helped for our the memorial service we had for Buddy Wilson. It was a really wonderful event, and I just wanted to say thank you to Jay Edwards, Dana and Judy Campbell, Ann Hollow, Steve Ulfelder, Gene Newsom, Jan McGowan, Molly Steele, Taylor Norboge, Elton Witt, Erica Coing, and Sharon and John Criswell. They did a great job. It was a beautiful service. I don't know if you guys got to come. So, all right, so we're going to stay tuned to every Thursday at 1 o'clock for Facebook Live with Reverend Jill, as she shares readings, meditations, and affirmations. Continue to please to bring your non-perishable goods for the crisis bread basket. We're still doing healthy cereals and powdered milk. That's pretty valuable commodities right now for them. If you have any questions or concerns or prayer requests, please reach out to Reverend Jill at minister@unityofwimberley.com. And if you'd like to make an appointment with her, pastoral care, or just like to visit with her, you can check in with me at business@unityofwimberley.com, and I'll make sure that gets going on. So just a reminder, our prayer chaplain, Ann Hollows, is available to pray with you after the service. You can fill out a blue prayer request sheet for the prayer box or a yellow sheet for the gratitude jar, and both of those are located on the fireside room buffet. If this is your first visit with us, or if your contact information has changed, please let us know so we can get all that straight. And now, we've waited so long. Come on, guys.
You are alive. You are alive. You are alive in this world. You are alive. You are alive. You are alive in this world. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright.
Okay, let's bless these beautiful children, shall we? We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are. Even you. All right. Especially you. Sorry about that. Okay, Evie's going to talk to us a little bit about some really cool stuff. Come on, girl.
So, a lot of y'all do know Courtney, but if you don't know Courtney, she has been a part of our beautiful spiritual community for a long time, since she was younger, and then she's been a teacher for at least 4 years. She personally has known my son and helped with him since he was 4 at another school that she worked at, and she's just a wonderful person. She's going to be going this week to Nepal with an amazing group that she's going to be volunteering, and she already did this back into last year, right? Last spring in the Bahamas with a wonderful group called All Hands and Hearts. And they're going to Nepal to help after, in 2015, there was some really bad earthquakes that devastated a lot of the region. So she's going to go and help build a health post and spend some time there. And we're just so proud of her. We just think that's so amazing. She's going out and do the place. So we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. You are. Yes, here. Thank you.
Oh,
We love you.
thank
love
you so
From the
much.
church to help with your trip.
Yes.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. I
Hey, did you
appreciate
wanna
you so much.
Okay, all right.
Thank y'all.
Thank you all so much. Yes. Yeah, I release. No, it's all good.
I release, let go.
A little mountain.
Spirit from my life. My heart is open wide. I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. By faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. 'Cause I'm only for God. I release and let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. 'Cause I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. 'Cause I'm only for God. I am free in the Spirit, 'cause I'm only for God. I am free in the Spirit, 'cause I'm only here for God.